Oops, I was making, some notes. Hey, sure took your time getting back. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. There's no one to play with except for the machine. But we'll need him if we want to find out how transistors work. Are you ready? Okay. How do transistors work? Oh my gosh, it's Mr. Peterson! Get me out of here, quick!
Don't be frightened, Tim.
Not frightened, you idiot. It's Mr. Peterson. He's got my homework.
Oh, in that case.
Tim, my boy. Glad you could make it.
Hi, Mr. Peterson. How's it going? You know, you never told me you had a laboratory in your dungeon.
Spacious, isn't it? I guess I just outgrew my garage.
Yeah, it's beautiful, sir. Beautiful. So what you doing down here anyway?
Working nights, my boy. You know, a teacher's salary doesn't go very far these days. Besides, somebody had to deliver your homework assignments.
Oh, gee, thanks, Mr. Peterson. But I thought I was down here to, you know, meet someone who could tell me how transistors work.
And of course, you'd never expect your science teacher to know about things like that.
Oh, no, it's not that. It's just, well...
It's okay, Tim, I understand. Excuse me. This is Dan. He was in my class about
11 years ago.
Now, time flies. And now he's an electrical engineer.
I work on making transistors and other chip components smaller and smaller.
Dan and I have prepared a little demonstration for you.
The transistors on a microprocessor are simply switches that allow electrical currents to flow. Just like this switch, a transistor either completes a circuit representing a 1 or breaks it, representing a 0.
I'm deeply moved, sir.
This is just a simple circuit with a switch. Watch what happens when we replace the switch with a transistor.
Even more impressive.
Now wait, Tim. Take the wire from this extra battery and touch it to the transistor right here.
Hey, moderately cool.
The interesting thing about transistors is they don't have any moving parts. You activate them electrically. That's why they can be put into microprocessors.
A switch without any moving parts?
It's really just a matter of controlling the flow of electrons. Let me show you.
I'm not sure Tim really understands how atoms and electrons work yet, do you, Tim?
Was that a homework assignment?
Relax, Tim. You just need to know a few basics. In the center of every atom, there's a nucleus made of neutrons and protons. This nucleus is surrounded by rapidly rotating electrons.
Like moons around a planet?
More random than that. These electrons can even jump from atom to atom. That's how electricity flows. Some materials, like copper and silver, conduct electricity very well.
Their electrons jump around easily.
Right, they're conductive, but other materials are non-conductive. Their electrons resist jumping, so they don't conduct electricity.
Like rocks and wood and rubber and stuff like that.
Now, here's what's really interesting. We can change some materials that are normally non-conductive into conductors. Silicon is the best example.
Is that what semiconductor means?
Right. Semiconductors are materials whose conductivity can be changed.
So, how do we do that?
Well, take a look at this, Tim. This is a cross-section of a transistor. This layer going across here is silicon. This red part here is the source. It's where the wire from the battery comes in. The drain is here. That's where we attach the wire to the light bulb. And this is the gate. It's where you touch the third wire.
So, this wire changes something in the gate area?
That's right. But to see how it works, we have to take a look at what the atoms are doing. We know this gets a little dense, so we've prepared a visual aid. Tim, could you throw that switch for me?
Awesome.
Mr. Peterson was always a master with models, but he really outdid himself this time. He ran into a group of IOSFF conventioneers who were only too happy to volunteer. The people represent the atoms in a transistor. The balls are electrons. Now, the electrons in the silicon layer aren't jumping around too much, so the switch is off. To complete the circuit, the electrons have to find a way to flow between the source and the drain.
Well, how do we do that?
Tim, do you know how the poles of a magnet work?
Sure. The magnet's north pole attracts the south pole and vice versa. You know, opposites attract.
Well, a positive electrical charge has the same effect on negatively charged electrons. When we send a positive charge into the gate, it attracts the electrons in the silicon layer up into the area under the gate. This creates a channel of electrons between the source and the drain.
And the current starts flowing.
Right. It's almost like there's an electron traffic jam in the source. Once you open up a lane by adding the electric charge, the electrons start flowing.
Hey, a switch with no moving parts. That's pretty cool. But what I really want to know is, how do they put millions of these on a microprocessor?
Very carefully.
Another question? Thanks, Dan. And thank you, Mr. Peterson.
Now, wait, Tim, there was something I was supposed to give you. Now, what was it?
Great show, Mr. Peterson. Now I know how current flows through transistors. Switch with no moving parts. Wow.
Yes, of course. Your homework assignment.
Thanks, Mr. Peterson!
You're welcome.
Oh, man. When am I going to find time to do all this stuff? I still need to find out how a microprocessor is made. Oh well. First things first.